Hi, my name is Laura. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I have spent the last 10 years working in luxury e-commerce retail, which I have absolutely loved. It's not necessarily been easy along the way. There's definitely been some hard times, some tears, but a whole lot of happy times. And more importantly, I've learned a huge amount both about myself as well as professionally. I decided to start this channel in the hope that me sharing some of my experiences, learnings, challenges that I've had over the last 10 years may help one of you out there that are watching now. So I hope you enjoy, and let's get stuck into the video. So I think everyone would agree that no one's career or their life journey is plain sailing. Everyone has challenges and bumps and ups and downs, me included. I had a period of time where I had 4 jobs at 4 different companies in the period of 18 months. Kind of mad. It was quite stressful throughout at times, but I made it through the other side, and I wanted to share with you my 3 key takeaways that I've embodied since coming through that experience that I think has made me better as a person, personally, and also helped me progress in my career as well. So let's get stuck into things. Number 1, you are more resilient than you think. It is a fact. You may not feel like it when you're in that moment, but you make it through those tough times and you come out the other side a stronger person. And once the storm is over, you won't remember how you made it through, how you managed to survive. You won't even be sure whether the storm is really over. But one thing is certain, when you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. That is what the storm is all about. It's so true. I absolutely love this quote. I came across it years ago and it's been on the front page of my journal ever since. It completely clicked and resonated with me, and I think it will resonate with a lot of other people too. Going through those tough experiences, whether it's personally or professionally, you learn so much about yourself. In that 18 months, went through so many difficult things, from starting a job that was completely different to what I thought it was going to be, going on to another job, which I then ended up being made redundant from, and then all of the in-between angst of personal stuff going on in my life as well. And when you're in it, you don't realise how strong you are and how much you are persevering with such a lot of stuff. When you come out of it, you're able to reflect on those experiences because they're in the past. You're not living and breathing them. And it might take, weeks, months, it could even be a year depending on how challenging the situation was. But you will 100% get to a point where you can reflect and realise how strong you have been. And please make sure you do that, because if you're going through all of this tough stuff and you're not taking a moment to reflect and think about how you have grown as a person, how it's impacted you, positively and maybe even some negatively, if you take that opportunity to really reflect on that experience, you will grow as a person and you will feel so much stronger and more positive about yourself. Number 2, change is good. That's not the response a lot of people have. It's so easy to view change as being scary. And of course, you're potentially stepping out of your comfort zone. You're moving on to something that you're not familiar with or you don't know everything about. There's a lot of uncertainties. There are loads of things that can feed into an anxious approach to the word change. I've managed a lot of people in my time, and change is more often than not the main thing that they struggle with. Whether that is change in a line manager, change in their work responsibilities, change in their working pattern. I totally get that change can be scary. Trust me, I've been there. I've had some nervous breakdowns when changes have happened, particularly early on in my career, and I did not want the changes to happen. But in the long run, when you can look back in hindsight, it is absolutely the best thing. And that is what I have tried to embrace to the people that I've managed over the last few years and the teams that I have empowered and coached, that change is positive. I work in e-commerce, so if you're not comfortable with change, you're pretty much out of a job. I have had some of my best growth through periods of change. And 4 jobs in 18 months, there's quite a lot of change. Some of the key things that change brought for me was my skill sets. They expanded hugely from that experience. I was exposed to different companies' ways of working, different roles, different people, different types of work. And that meant that my skill set expanded hugely in a time period that, quite frankly, I didn't think would be possible. If I'd have stayed in one company, it probably would have taken me 3 times the amount of time in order to gain an aspect of that level. Because obviously if you're in one place, you're only going to be exposed to so much. Never burn a bridge. Honestly, it's the best advice that I could give anyone, particularly when you're working in a small niche remit. Never burn a bridge. It can come back to bite you. It's also helped me get jobs as well. A previous job, I got it because I was recommended by someone. I got my foot in the door because I was recommended by someone. Finally, salary. Moving and having so much change and all of those experiences allowed me to increase my salary substantially in that time period, which obviously is a key driver for most people in this world. We all work to earn money so we can live the lives that we want to live. So that as well was a key win, I guess is how I would put it, over that time, and it set me up for future success. To finish, change is good. Off with a little quote. I wanted to share with you this sentence from Robin Sharma. Change is hard at first, messy in the middle, and gorgeous at the end. Number 3, setting boundaries is essential for your self-preservation. Trust me, it is not worth blurring those lines. In the world that we work in today, it's so easy for your personal and your professional life to just become completely mushed and blurred together, particularly where so many more people now either work remotely or they work hybridly. There naturally is going to be a bleeding effect of the two because they are, so much more closer than maybe they had been previously. That can be detrimental to your mental well-being if you let it. And trust me, I have been in that situation, particularly, when you're early on in your career, you're wanting to impress, you're wanting to progress quickly, you're wanting to demonstrate that you can do the job and you can take on that extra task and it will get you brownie points along the way. And obviously you can do that for a period of time, but it's not something that you can do long term, and it's not something that you should be doing long term either. And I think when I was going through several jobs in quite quick succession, I ultimately felt the pressure that I needed to be on my A game 24/7 because I was on my probation period. I needed to impress. I needed to demonstrate that I deserved that job. I was right to be there. It was obviously it has been a very challenging economic climate. So I was very conscious that I needed this job. Otherwise, who knows, I might be out of a job and I might not be able to find one. And all of these things can just fester in your head and spin out of control, essentially. And I got to the point where I was just like, I need to check myself. I need to have some clear distinction between my work life and my personal life. There needs to be no overlap where possible. And that is essentially what I managed to do. So how did I do this? Well, really what was important for me was to understand and identify what is important in my life. What are my priorities? Splitting those out from a professional point of view and a personal point of view. And I journaled those down. I wrote each individual item, such as at work, I want to make sure that I am delivering a specific sales number so I can reach my bonus this year. And at home, I want to make sure that I prioritise family time with my elderly relatives because they are important to me and I want to make sure that I spend time with them. And essentially going through that process and jotting those things down, you really identify where your priorities are, and then you can make sure you embody them in your life essentially. And also what I found was incredibly essential was very much splitting the two apart. When I'm at work, that is work. I'm 100% focused on my work and I will perform 100% to my ability wherever possible. When I'm at home, I don't think about work. I don't look at my work phone. I keep that very separate. and I've solely focused on my personal life. And I have been at periods of my career and my life where I have not done that. And yes, you can obviously manage it for a while, and there might be periods of time where you have to flex on it a little bit, but it should never be a long-term thing. It's not healthy, it's not sustainable, and unless you're getting paid like hundreds of thousands a year, in my opinion, it's just not worth it. You have to decide what your highest priorities are and have the courage, pleasantly, smilingly, non-apologetically, to say no to other things. This quote just encompasses the whole element of setting boundaries and protecting yourself for me, and I wanted to share it with you. So, the key 3 things that I took away from my experience of my crazy roller coaster ride with 4 jobs at 4 companies in 18 months are these 3 things. You are more resilient than you think. 2, change is good. And finally 3, setting boundaries is essential for your self-preservation. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.